Hello, welcome back to the Liminal Hedge, your resident moth, here to help you find your inner flame. Welcome back if you are returning. If you are new, you are more than welcome here. Happy to have you. Thank you for spending your time with me. I will be doing a collective read since the last video I did was Palo Santo. Sorry, the last reading that I did was a love reading and it was super precious and sweet. So check it out if you feel so inclined. I've set up 2 separate playlists where one will be collective general reads, one will be collective love reads. So as that fills up, there should be a good backlog to check out. And without further ado, let's get into it. Spirit, universe, what messages can I help the collective with at the moment I find this video? What messages can I bring back from the threshold for the collective at this time? Okay. I got a library. Wonder what this is. King of Pentacles. He's been showing up a lot. A lot. I think we were in an Earth sign season or something. So yeah, what was up with this library? Really wasn't much going on. It was just someone looking for a book. They looked very intent. They were not browsing. And it looked like they knew where the book should be, but it wasn't there. Yeah. There was lots of like avocado greens and so like a 60s purple, 70s purple. We'll see. What would that be? Purple crown chakra, green heart chakra. All right. 4 more cards, please, for the collective. Internal influence, please. Internal influence, please. Internal influence, please. Ooh. Again. I have only done 3 videos so far, and I have pulled both of these cards in reverse order than before in the first video. Yeah, which was a collective read. Okay, all right, collective, let's figure it out. And you know what? Before I even keep going, because this is starting to mirror that one, and you'll see why in a second. Before I did this read, I had a song, a clip of a song in my head that I had never, I've heard it in like reels and things, but had never heard the song itself. So I went looking for it to see if there was anything in this that I wanted to bring to you all. And while the clip that they play in the reels is like very sweet and lilty and sort of atmospheric and sort of just beautiful. The song itself is heartbreaking. I can't remember. Alex, I'll link it below. It's I think of you often. I think of you often, I think is what it is. But man, the comments, comment section for that was just, I mean, it was so sweet because everyone was so supportive of each other, but it was just a lot of loss. So gosh, I hope you guys aren't dealing with that. I am. You know, I know how it is, and you're not alone if you are, but let's keep going. Let's see, maybe this will turn around. It always does, doesn't it? All right, that was internal influence. External, please. External, please. External, please. External. Ooh. Good, 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 good. Yes, yes. I love it. Yes. All right. What is needed for resolution, please? What is needed for resolution, please? Get one card. One card, please. What is needed for resolution? What's needed for resolution? Ooh. Another repeat. He was from the love reading. Wow. Collective. What's up? Like the two readings that I've posted so far are like merging. And I've done readings for myself in between none of these cards. This is, wow. Wow, wow, wow. You guys, ooh. Well, we weren't focused. Hang on. All right, resolution, 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 resolution. One card, please, for the collective to help them. Their resolution and final outcome. Resolution and final outcome. Okay. All right. Well, we'll get there. We'll get there. Let's see where the road takes us, huh? Okay. Starting to get an itchy nose. That is always, things are happening. Things are happening. Okay. First card out, we have King of Pentacles. And let's see. So this is our issue. Collective issue. I'm going to try really hard not to hearken back to that first collective read, even though, you know what? It is feeling like an extension of it. In that read, because of the cards around it, which one of the same cards is right next to it now, I saw this very much as an alchemy, an inner alchemy that had occurred, that you had done. Avocado green, look at that. And are those, I can't see in this light, are those grapes purple? They are. Whoa. Issue. All right, so are you going, oh, are you leveling up again? Did you did you go and do all that glorious alchemy that I mentioned in that first collective reading? Go watch it if you have an extra 30 minutes. Put it on 2x speed, blast through it. There had been, a person had done a massive amount of transferring pain and disappointment and took all that lead and turned it into gold, and they were glowing. And I'm just getting the same thing from that. You know, if this was an external influence or someone else, I would talk about other things, but I'm really getting that again. So, and for it to now be in the issue, are you like back in your chrysalis? Are you back at the distillery alchemizing? Yeah. Yeah, you know why? Internal influence of what you're not, of which you are no one, of which you are not aware. And these were reversed before, or no, wait, that way for you. So in that last reading, this was first and this was second. Today, this is first and this is second. So you're back. You're back to the drawing board, but you've leveled up. You've leveled up. That's really fast. Which is odd. He doesn't do anything fast. So I could see why you'd be feeling pretty alone. Anyone around you right now has got to be blown away. And just sort of, I feel speechless. But I also feel, gosh, so excited. No wonder. Yeah, you are so, when you did this, when you took that raw ingot, that raw stuff that happened, that ish, that lead, my goblin's making noises. She's saying, preach. When you did that and you leveled up through all of that, you got a taste of it, and you don't care. You have no FOMO. You have no FOMO right now. Nope. No FOMO. Not you. This is, oh, you're in the zone. You are in the zone. You're in the zone. I love it. Yes. You know what? I'm not one to, even though I'm an introvert, I'm not one to say, cancel all your plans and just bed rot and da-da-da, even though I love doing that too. That's not what's happening here. If you're canceling all your plans and you're not picking up the phone and you forgot to eat lunch because you're so excited about this work that you're doing, I don't blame you one bit. Your internal influence, you are, I don't think you don't feel alone. You don't feel alone. I think you've created an energy around where you're slowly and quickly boiling all that down, reducing it down, and you love the effect that it has. You've found it, you've figured out how to do it, and you are in the zone. I love it. I love it. Now listen, if you do, look at how much yellow and gold. If you do feel a little bit alone, or if not, I don't think you do. I think you're creating such an energy from this that it literally, to you, like when you're in the zone, it feels like an entity. You know, it feels like, because you've taken up space. You know, maybe before you were shrinking away, maybe before, you know, that lack of purpose sort of has a melancholy with it, and you do feel sort of like you're haunting your life and not taking up space. I think you and this process that you're doing inside, you literally can feel it like a driving force. And I think the internal influence of you here being just in that last video back here. And I hope that it wasn't a new source of struggle or strife. I hope that you didn't have to rapidly go through a bunch of things, and if you did, I'm so sorry, and I'm sending you love. I feel like you just you felt like you missed something the first time when you did this the first time, and you alchemized. You took all that pain and turned it into gold that started this need to just keep leveling up. I feel like you leveled up a little bit, and then leveled up a little bit, and leveled up a little bit, and you got high enough up that you were like, wait, there's something back there. Gotta go back, gotta go back. And so again, just like in that last video, I saw someone in my mind before I started that was like in a moor. I looked it up, by the way, M-O-O-R. Yeah, I was right. And they were alone, but I didn't feel like they were minding being alone. They didn't seem, I felt like I wanted to have pity on them for a second, and then I was like, they're fine. Just like the person in the library. They knew there was something. That's what I said. They knew there was something. The book, they knew exactly which book they were looking for, but it wasn't where they thought it was supposed to be. So you went back. There's something else there. And how brave of you. How brave. When people rip the Band-Aid off and they finally, whatever forces them to get out of this space that this card is normally interpreted as, grieving these spilt cups, you couldn't force a person back here. 9 times out of 10, no, that is not for the faint of heart. No, that takes extraordinary willpower and bravery, and it is going to pay off. Oh, it's going to pay off. Oh, I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for you. The rewards for this kind of bravery and this kind of dedication and willingness it's so special. The reward will be so special. I think you know that. I think you're quite loving this groove that you found on how to transmute all of this. I'm loving it. It's making me feel energized. I'm glad I'm not in the library right now. I'd be shouting. All right, external influence of which you, let's see, issue, internal, yeah, external influence of which you are aware. I've got the 4 of Swords. So this is talking about rest and recuperation after. So see, he's in this, I always feel like, and I don't know if this is how it's typically interpreted, he's in a cathedral, and although he's like, you know, in repose, and this does sort of, you know, look a little odd because he's the same color as what it's gold again. Man, he's turned himself into gold. I always see this stained glass window, and it always just makes me feel like the person, you know, all this crazy is happening around, and you used to be able to go into a cathedral or church in medieval times and claim sanctuary. And so I feel like yes, you are not in, I think there's an amor fati, which means falling in love with your fate. I think that's what you're doing. You're realizing that when you lean into what's happening and you process it, you get all kinds of keys to all kinds of doors that the universe already prepared for you. And that's why you're realizing that's why you went through it. But it is hectic and chaotic. Doesn't matter if we're the King of Pentacles and we're doing it methodically and steadfast. And it doesn't matter if you've even isolated yourself. It can be a lot. And like I was, in my metaphor earlier, when somebody's in the zone and, you forget to eat and you forget to pick up the phone, you forget to do all those things. External influence is telling you, pardon me, external influence is telling you there's a slowdown. There's a slowdown happening. And it's outside of you. So there may be things, maybe it is an external force causing you to have to stop and slow down, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing, because honestly, I don't think much could get you out of your groove. You've found this, you're not going to forget it. So enjoy moments of liminality where you are, say you take public transit, you have to wait in the queue, you have to sit on the bus, and it's this sort of in-between time. Did I say something about a chrysalis earlier? Looks like a chrysalis, doesn't he? It's that there's going to be these moments outside of your control, and lean into them so that when you start to make this your habit, I think probably already is becoming your habit, when you start to integrate this process into your life going forward, to where it becomes second nature, build into that rest, build into that, stop, eat some food, drink some water, call a friend, things that will relax you, ground you, that are going to bring you back, because this is all very heady. This is all very in the spirit, in the ether. You're doing a lot of work that come back to 3D for a little bit. And these are swords, and even though he's resting and he's asleep, this is communication. So checking in with people, telling them you're okay. If you really have gone mad scientist in your little internal alchemy lab and no one can find you, check in with people. Say, hey, is there 3 people, three besties looking for you? 3 family members? Is this a job, a love, a friend? Like who needs to know where you've been and if you're all right? And you get to decide what you tell them. You don't have to tell them all the stuff you've been working on. I would, if I've carefully crafted the people that are around me, so I'd be excited. But anyway, take little moments, whether they're imposed externally or whether you have to take them, sit there quietly, drink your coffee, open your mail, answer the call, give a call, say hey to your neighbor, talk to your pet. Just start to work these things out a little bit, maybe outside of your mind, outside of your soul, in a way that's relaxing. Talking to your pet is so relaxing. If you don't want to call anybody, you don't want to pick up the phone, you don't want to answer the text, fine, great. Don't. Not right now. Not until you're ready. Not until you're out of your little cocoon. But find something. Talk to trees. My God, have you ever talked to a tree? I know I sound like such a hippie right now. Trees love it when you talk to them. Talk to anything, okay? Just get it out a little bit. Get it out of your head a little bit in a peaceful way. in a relaxing way. Ooh. Itchy nose. Excuse me. All right. What is needed for resolution? We have the Page of Cups again. He popped up in the general or the collective love reading that I just did. And he was quite a character there. Let's see. I'm getting the same thing. No, not at all. No. What is needed for resolution? Look at what he's standing on, right? He's standing on this gold again. I love how much gold is here. It's incredible. He's come up. He's popped out. We're out. We're out. We we broke through the cocoon. We're off. We're the page. It's little, but I think from the revisiting of the work that you did before and coming back here, you found one of those cups. You found the one you were missing. You found your library book. You found it. And you're ready. You're ready to go talk about it. You're ready to embody it, to really to please show the world what you learned. And I normally kind of see him as a little bit of a showboat. I mean, he's flippin' fantastic, right? He's got his little fish in the cup. He's flamboyant. Let's say that. That's not what I'm getting from this at all. What I'm getting is, do you know how hard it is for me to keep this fish in this cup? Yep, I'm just chilling with a fish in a cup. Ask me. You should put a bumper or a little sticker on there. Ask me about my fish in my cup. You are gonna go take all this hard work you did, this beautiful, rich, gorgeous, lush work that you did, and you're gonna go show it. And I'm not talking about big flashy ways. If that's your vibe, and let's say you've got a platform or something like that, you're a leader of some sort, then yeah, by all means, make it splashy. But that's not really what I'm getting. This is going to be one of those instances, if you've ever paid attention to or prescribed to the idea of like breaking out of the matrix, you've ever noticed when you do a shift and you've sort of left a timeline, you go into a grocery store that you go into every single, every other day, you're in it all the time. It's your local store, and you just do your normal thing. All of a sudden you do that shift and you go in and everyone looks at you. Like, everyone gets out of your way. You're not even barreling through. In fact, you're probably, you're not a bull in a china shop. You're being so flow. So flow. You're just so going with, you're following your heart. Your big, beautiful heart is so open from all this work that it is like a literal portal. And you are able to walk through a grocery store with a fish in a cup. Metaphorically. Maybe you want to do that. I don't know. Let me know if you do, how that works out. Maybe you want to go buy a fish. You could buy a fish. If you do, let me know, and let me know what you name it. Anyway, this is about embodying everything you've just learned, and I see it in little ways where, remember I was talking about the bus and these liminal moments when you're in line, and they don't seem important, but they are. When you become this level when you become this level where you're like you, where you're excited about what you've learned, when you get there, you start to carry a vibration with you that, no joke, you will affect the environments around you. It's no longer the environment affecting you. You are now permeating out. So enjoy those moments. Stop and smell the roses, as cliche as that sounds, as trite as that sounds. Because when you do that, think about that. Think about when a person stops and smells the roses, right? Perhaps in some instances you could be alone. You could be wandering in the wilderness and no one would see you. But let's say you do stop and smell the roses. And they're the roses that are at the front of a market or whatever, and busy city, and nobody ever stops and smells them. But you do. Somebody sees that, and that changes their day. And they're nervous about it, and they wait for you to leave, and they wait for everybody to be gone, but then they go over and smell it. You know? And then this is going to cause a ripple effect. Take it with you. Go with the flow. Notice little things that are going on. Be a little Dr. Seuss about it, I guess. With your fish in your cup. I saw a video earlier of a guy, I wish, maybe I'll link that too below. He like dresses up sort of like this guy. And he goes around, and his favorite thing to do is just to have somebody follow him with a camera, and he speaks in this sort of antiquated way, saying, you know, calling things like a 99-cent store. He calls it a house of bric-a-brac, you know, and he's just being a disruptor, but in a beautifully centered and calm way, where he's mirroring to people what's around him and telling people, you know, just little things. He loves the way they're walking. He loves the way they put their hat on. He loves the way that. Do that. It will fill your cup up over and over and over again. You will fill up so many cups. You will. You will. And then you know what'll happen when you start to bring that back, and you no longer have to worry about alchemizing this anymore. You just have these cups, these upright cups. You'll be alchemizing gold into even higher levels. And it'll be so much more fun. Because this was not fun. It was fun that you figured out the cheat codes and how to do it, and you know, that was fun. But having to do it was not. Now, what is needed for resolution was this. The resolution, this is similar to the collective read as well, because we ended on a card that is typically, I know, right? Like I said in that reading. All right. I get it. 5 of Pentacles. All right. Okay. So we have 5, 4. Oh, we have 4. We have 5, 4, back to 5. And then in your 4 of Swords, remember I talked about this stained glass window. So here we've got people that are making a conscious decision. It's cold. One of them's got a banged up leg. Doesn't even look like he has a shoe on. And they're peacing out. They could be in here. We don't know why. I'm wondering if these two don't have something to do with each other. Because this was your external influence, right? In those moments of reaching out, communicating what you had learned, if you felt like you were safe to do that, and I hope you are. I hope you're surrounded by people that you feel safe doing that with. You deserve it. I'm wondering if this is not so much about you being on the lam from this, what we can assume is a warm church. If this is you leaving that sort of established, like, I'm not going to talk any ill will, or I'm not going to speak ill of any religion or anything like that. But organized religion, dogma, that can be, like, I spoke about all the wonderful things about church, right? Charity and taking in people who need sanctuary, right? Those are the wonderful things about Western Christian churches. But there is dogma, right? There's this, you know, perhaps they're leaving because you know, who knows what values they hold. So maybe this is you walking out after your period of rest, after your chrysalis moments, after you talk to your dog or your fish or whatever, and realizing what isn't coming with you anymore. Because this kind of expansiveness, the King of Pentacles, that you're working on with your alchemy here, doesn't have room really for this kind of restriction. You're going to be a little bit too big for that. Yeah. Cup's going to runneth over, right? So I believe this is very much a conscious choice to honor the rest that you got, honor the sanctuary, and then let it go. There's a new way. You know where you're going. You wouldn't go out, apparently, unfazed by the elements. You wouldn't go out and do that if you weren't sure of where you were going. And I think you're quite sure of where you're going, and I think where you're going is not going to be as walled in. Is going to be much more expansive, much more Jupiter energy, you know. Let's see. Again, we've had Pentacle, Cup, Pentacle, Sword. So all the elements here. I'm getting pilgrimage, which is weird, like Chaucer, you know, Canterbury Tales. which I haven't thought about in a million years. Was The Knight's Tale based on that? It was. It's called Lance. Hello. And remember how much she talked about the stained glass in that? The riot of color. I'm getting pilgrimage. So, you know, I don't think that maybe for some of you is literal, but we don't really do that much these days, do we, in Western civilization? I guess there's lots of pilgrimages in Spain, and those are Catholic, right? Anyway, whatever that means to you, because that's all about leaving the comforts behind to realize that they're not really helpful or necessary. I didn't mean helpful, but they don't get you to where your soul really wants to go. And I think your soul knows where it wants to go. And I don't think you're going to have any problem getting there. I think there will always be room at the inn for somebody like you. Yeah. Showing people how to smell the roses. Of course there will. Of course there will. All right. Let me pull one card. Yeah, let's use Botticelli. Why not? Since this whole thing has been medieval and Renaissance and quasi-religious, which is strange. Does that fit in with the library? I wonder what book he was looking for. They were looking for. I don't know what. We'll see. All right, please, one universe, one card for the Five of Pentacles, pilgrimage that my lovely Alchemist collective is going to go on. One card, please. For the Five of Pentacles. One card, please. Five of Pentacles. This deck is normally very talkative. Maybe we don't need one. We'll see. Deck pops out right about. Is that it? Knight of Swords. Rough stuff. Maybe this dogma that you're super aware of now, that you're elevated, that you've leveled up and you're looking from way up here. You used to be way down here and you went way up above the labyrinth. You're up there looking and you realize this has gotta go. I think that, yep. No more. No, we're not going to stay here. Nope, there's nothing there anymore. You're not even going to bother going on to the Ten of Swords. You skip right over it. Yep. Because this is starting to become too much. It's too much, you know. And I think you peace out well before this turns into the 10. Yeah. Well, you know what? If this keeps happening and these collective reads keep building, I will be absolutely tickled and thrilled if they do. If that keeps happening, I cannot wait to see what you do next. I'm so excited that you're breaking out and choosing to continue doing it. And it's so exciting. I could not be more thrilled for you. Anyway, that is it. That's all I have for you for today. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing your energy and your time with me. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me. If you have anything to say, please do let me know. If any of this resonates, I would love to hear about it. And I just feel called to say this again. I know I was being very positive about this because I do feel like it's positive, but I do understand that this is not easy. And I love you so much. And you're amazing, okay? You can do anything. You can certainly get through this, and you can certainly get through it and be such a beacon on the other side, shining out, okay? I trust in you. I hope you trust in yourself. Please, please, please. The world needs you to do that. We need you to do it for yourself. Go out there. Be a badass disruptor. Bust up the matrix. Go do it. Go shake it up. Get rid of the dogma. Yeah. Go wake people up. It's time. Wake up. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Enough rambling. Hope to see you soon. Thank you. Thank you. Bye. I love you.